Bang, bang. What's up? Lunch money time on a Monday. While Wall Street's trying to get rich, the rest of us just trying to get our lunch money right. The beautiful, intelligent Polina Marinova, guest host, maybe full-time host. We're still deciding. Looks like an angel or
a ghost.
A ghost. You said it, not me. Don't forget, Lunch Money is now sponsored by BlockFi. BlockFi's got 3 products. You can deposit crypto. They'll give you a US dollar loan. You can buy and sell crypto. Or my favorite product as a user and an investor is an interest-bearing account that pays up to 8.6% APY. Go in the description of this video. You can click on the link there. Go sign up. Tell them Lunch Money sent you. They'll give you a bunch of cool shit, and you won't regret it. What's going on with the protest?
Okay. Well, the protests are raging on in pretty much every city in America.
What's your take?
My take is the same as last week. I think the people have had enough, and this was bound to happen.
I agree. I want to address Friday. I read all the comments. I don't think I was clear. I think that these protests would happen regardless of the economic situation. But I think that the economic situation magnifies all of the issues. So let's clear that up. Second of all, I wrote a really long piece today. It's probably the longest piece that I've written in years about.
It's good. I read it. It's only good because I read it.
Polina actually helped me edit it. It's about America in turmoil and the racial, economic, and power privilege. And it talks all about the militarization of the police, etc. Go read it. You'll understand how I think. The one thing that I will say, though, is I never thought that I would see this quickly protesters gain the upper hand. We saw last week where protesters literally chased the Minneapolis police out of the police station and then lit the police station on fire. This weekend, we saw cop cars burning in the middle of Manhattan. In Union Square on Saturday night, they had lit 3 cop cars on fire, throwing Molotov cocktails in the heart of New York City in the United States. It's crazy. But you know what? People are hurting. They want to be heard. It's probably about time that we start listening. What's your favorite positive video from the protest?
Okay. So I liked one where the cops got down on one knee and everybody, was like, thank you. And this is what we wanted. And then they started walking with the protesters.
My favorite is the sheriff.
Oh, wait, no, I have another
in Minnesota. What? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I don't think this is protest related, but it happened during that time. There was this little kid that went around and started hugging everyone.
The little toddler, little 2-year-old hugging everyone in a park.
Oh, it was so cute. Okay, go on.
All right. Well, the sheriff in Minnesota, or I think it was St. Paul, or somewhere in Minneapolis or Minnesota, basically said, look, we put down our batons, we put down all of our riot gear, and he's talking to the protesters, and he goes, I'm here to listen. What do you guys want to do? And they said, walk with us. And he literally just hypes them up and goes, let's go. Where are we walking? I'll walk all night. And he just starts walking with the protesters. And I think it's a signal of we just need more listening. We need more empathy. And actually, we would be in a better position if more people said, hey, we're here. We don't agree with this either, right? That's the most powerful thing is if police officers say, I don't think that police officers should be killing citizens. It will drastically accelerate the recovery from all this.
I think it's just the cops want to show that they're, strong and whatever. So they're just ratcheting up the force in a time where you should be doing the opposite.
Don't forget, the police are here to protect and serve us, supposedly. Let's go to the CFO survey.
Maybe I should tell everyone again to be kind to their friends.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Okay.
What's going on with the global CFO survey?
So global CFOs are more negative on the economy and expect big coronavirus hit to their company in 2020. Is this shocking to anybody?
Today in no shit news, CFO, kids show, can't be cursing. I've seen videos now of the 2-year-old saying bang bang.
Oh my God, the cutest.
Shout out to the 2-year-old. But no, I think that this is, it just reiterates the whole idea, right? The economic data is getting worse and worse. It's still getting worse. And we also are seeing the stock market rally. There's obviously a dislocation between stock prices and the economic data. CFOs, though, although they may see their stock prices going up, they see the economic realities that they're likely having revenue and profits fall off a cliff. They're eating into their cash reserves. And so most of them are saying that they expect 2020 to be a really tough year. No surprise there. But also they're saying that they believe that there will be some sort of realignment between the stock prices and the economic reality.
Yeah.
More so that the stock prices are going to fall back down. Who knows what will happen?
I don't understand why the stocks are going up right now.
Because the stock market is not a representation of the actual economy. It's a representation of central bank actions, which means that if all of a sudden the Federal Reserve steps in and says, hey, the stock market's falling, you know what we're going to do? We're going to flood the market with dollars. Sophisticated investors know that when you flood the market with dollars, that means that you stop the falling of asset prices and you actually drive a massive recovery in asset prices. And so what did investors do? They all started buying stocks, which only perpetuates the recovery of the stocks because there's more buying than selling now. And the Federal Reserve is just pumping cash into the market. There's also a bunch of studies and data that have come out that show the stimulus checks that got given to people right within those 2 weeks that the stimulus checks went out. A bunch of retail investors like on Robinhood and other places started buying stocks. So stimulus money was going into it. And then lastly, there's a bunch of speculation that, hey, we're going to get a vaccine. We're going to get some sort of drug for coronavirus. We're going to get out of all of this. And so you put all those things together and you get a rallying stock market, which again leads to wealth inequality. At the same time that 40 million people are losing their jobs in lower socioeconomic environments, you have the rich people, the people who own stocks, making money. It's just we're getting to the place where we've been for a long time. So this is just it playing out. CFOs believe that there'll be a correction.
I feel like in times of crisis, just everything gets exacerbated and magnified. And it, what is it called? Okay. Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
All right. Speaking of, what's going on with the squid? Goldman Sachs.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
He's saying that because Goldman was once called an evil vampire squid with its tentacles all around.
They're just sucking blood out of the system.
Okay. So Goldman Sachs, you want to hear something shocking?
Sure. Hit me.
It's shorting the dollar.
That's not surprising.
Really?
No, because here's why. Remember when those stock prices are falling, all the asset prices are falling? That means that the dollar is strengthening, right? It's a numerator denominator thing that's all denominated in dollars. So in order for the asset prices to fall, it means the dollar has to strengthen. As the dollar is strengthening, people eventually say, hey, it's not going to strengthen forever, right? Asset prices aren't going to go down forever. And so at some point, people start to short the thing. The question is always, when's the right time to do it? Right? Goldman thinks now. Other people think that it's got a ways to go. We'll see who's right and who's not. But the idea that the dollar has to weaken against other assets and against other currencies in order to get a full-blown recovery is not new. Most economists and investors know that will happen. It's all about timing.
They highlighted the Norwegian krone.
Yeah.
Krone?
Saying what? That they're going long?
That it is well positioned to outperform during the remainder of the coronavirus crisis. Why the Norwegian currency?
Why did they say that? So they're recommending to short the USD krone pair, which is pretty crazy that they're even putting that type of recommendation in the news.
That's really crazy. Right?
But I mean, look, it is what it is. At the end of the day, we're going to see how this plays out. This is all a game of timing. There's very few people who would argue that we were just in a deflationary environment. How long will that last? Nobody knows. And the dollar has to weaken in order to get some sort of recovery. Goldman thinks now's the time. And here's the beauty of shorting things is if you're right, you can make a lot of money. If you're wrong, you can get your face ripped off. And so we're going to see what happens. But
I do not want to get my face ripped off. Okay.
Sorry, that's like a normal piece of language. But go ahead.
Sometimes have really crazy metaphors and stuff that I do not.
No, that's just a normal terminology.
Oh.
Go ahead. Zuck-Trump call. Bucks and Trump bucks.
So Trump and Zuck spoke on the phone on Friday. What do you think they said to each other?
I think that Mark Zuckerberg explained his position on social media, and Donald Trump probably generally appreciated it and liked it. Doesn't mean that it's right, but doesn't also mean that it's wrong.
So let me get this straight. So Trump right now does not like Twitter because Twitter's trying to censor him. And then he's appreciating Zuck because Facebook is trying to just be a platform and let him say whatever he wants. Look,
there's a lot of reasons to not like Mark Zuckerberg, right? There's a lot of people who don't like him. I personally like him, right? Met the guy, worked at Facebook. I'm biased, but there's very few people who think he's dumb. And I think that the position he's taking is the right one on this case, because if we get into a world where the platforms are making decisions on what's true and what's not,
I agree.
That is a really bad position, because let me give you two examples. Last week, Donald Trump tweeted something and used the terminology, when the looting starts, the shooting starts, which is a reference to a racist comment from years ago. He claims he didn't know it was racist. Who cares? But Twitter put a interstitial over top of it, or a warning that basically said, look, this encourages violence.
And then Trump doubled down and posted on the White House Twitter account.
So he basically was challenging Twitter. Are you going to not only censor me, the president of the United States, by putting this up, but are you also going to do it to an official government account? Now, I believe that they did it to both. The problem is they did it to the president and to the White House account, but there was many, many other people who were tweeting the same thing. You can go to Twitter and you can search that exact phrase, and they did not get the.
Okay, so I guess this is really tricky, because you get into the whole, okay, if I am tweeting that exact tweet in quotes, but I'm using it to criticize the tweet, technically they would have to censor me because it's inciting violence.
Well, the whole point is, if you're going to apply it to one person, you have to apply it to everyone, even if it's the president, and then you have to do it to everybody else. And that's a problem that Twitter it's going to be almost nearly impossible to enforce. And if they don't apply it to everybody, now you're just intentionally targeting the president of the United States, which is exactly what they want to see, right? Like the government wants them to basically do that, so then they can say, hey, you're just censoring us, and they can go after them. Now, the other part of this is, again, I keep saying to the media, you don't want this to happen, because now all of a sudden you're going to have Twitter who starts to play referee on whether your articles are true or not.
So does this make Twitter a publisher instead of a platform?
Well, that is the argument that many people in the government have right now, is they're saying that Twitter has become a publisher. They're no longer a neutral platform because they're making decisions about the content.
And that's not a place I thought where Twitter wanted to be.
Well, think about this. Imagine, I saw one of the Winklevoss twins tweeting this, and there are plenty of people who think that this is a bad example, but I generally think that directionally this is the good way to think about it. Imagine if the phone company started to censor what you said on the phone, whether they would connect you or not based on what you were saying.
I hope they learn Bulgarian.
But the whole point ends up being that, like, they don't do that. It's a truly neutral thing. I can call anyone through my phone line and I can say whatever I want. I may get in trouble afterward by law enforcement, but the phone company doesn't censor me. That's a neutral platform, right?
Okay.
Mail, same thing. When I write a letter, the mailman will deliver that mail through the U.S. Postal Service. As long as I pay for the stampage, they will deliver it regardless of what I put in the message, right?
Yeah.
Twitter now is stepping up and saying, no, we are actually going to determine whether we deliver it or not based on what you're saying. That takes away a lot of the neutrality. Facebook has chosen to go a different direction.
Here's what Zuck said. He said, I've been struggling with how to respond to the president's tweets and posts all day. Personally, I have a visceral negative reaction to this kind of divisive and inflammatory rhetoric, but I'm responsible for reacting not just in my personal capacity, but as the leader of an institution committed to free expression. So he's really taking the stance of, we're going to try to be neutral.
Well, and here's the crazy part, right? Like, one of the signs of intelligence is to be able to listen to other people's ideas and not change your mind. Right. And I forget the exact quote, but I'm paraphrasing there. And basically what is happening here is we have to remember that free speech is not, hey, I guarantee you free speech as long as you say things that I agree with. Right. Free speech is challenged most and is most important when somebody says something you don't agree with. So if you go talk to a lot of military veterans, for example, they'll say things like, you know what? I fought for the right for you to be able to burn the U.S. flag. That's your right. That's your freedom of speech, right? I fought for the right for you to talk shit to me. Now, I may whoop your ass when you do it, right? But you have the right to say it. You have the right to do those things. And so what ends up happening is free speech is all about and gets tested the most when people are saying and doing things that you don't agree with. That's what I think here we've gotten to this nuanced world, because then you get into the world of, are you encouraging violence? Are you actually hurting people, right? Super complex. Two platforms that are two of the most important in the world, taking two different strategies. We'll see how it plays out, but I think it's worth paying attention to.
Absolutely. And some of the best conversations that you and I have are when we disagree and we debate.
I end up being right. Okay, SpaceX, let's keep going. What's going on with SpaceX?
SpaceX, so we live streamed the launch. He yelled and screamed and wooed. I was just, giving out fun facts.
Bang, bang. We made it to space, baby.
We made it to space. It was really cool. Did you see that rat or something.
I don't know if that was
Okay,
really a mouse.
I
We'll
don't know if it was a mouse, but then I read another article where Elon Musk is literally sending these like weirdly mutant mice to
Okay,
space.
hold on, back up.
No, for real.
SpaceX had a launch on Saturday. They launched 2 humans to the
Bob and
International
Doug.
Space Station. It was the first time since 2011 that astronauts have been launched from the U.S. soil. And it's the first time ever that a private company has launched humans into space. And it was the first time that a reusable rocket has ever launched humans to space. This is a massive milestone and inflection point, I believe, for space exploration. And it was just, frankly, really inspiring to watch happen.
It was really well done.
Yeah. Elon Musk, 20 years ago, almost now, 18 years ago, set out to colonize Mars. And for 18 years, he's been working on this. This was one of the major milestones. And so it's just cool to see it happen. It got to the space station. They are successfully in the International Space Station. The next step will be in 30 to 120 days. They will come back to Earth. And so that's got to go well, obviously, but we'll see how that plays out. So long SpaceX, man. I'm a big fan.
In a world of really sad, dark news, I think this is kind of a cool thing to celebrate humanity's progress.
Shooting some rockets in space. Okay, Kylie Jenner.
Wait,
Speaking of,
but why don't you want to talk about the mouse conspiracy? Because I feel like you don't want to talk about it because you know I'm right and it was a mouse.
Maybe it was a mouse, maybe it wasn't. Who cares?
Guys, Google mouse SpaceX video.
All right, let me know in the comments if there was really a mouse on the rocket or not.
It scurries in and out.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Do you understand that the rocket was going so fast and was so hot that it would melt metal?
Yes, but these are genetically engineered mice. Look up the article.
What, you think they're the Ninja Turtles of mice getting shot into space and they can survive?
Yes.
They can survive any sort of conditions?
Okay. Elon Musk got a reusable rocket back to its thing. Do you not think he can like engineer some mice to be able to scurry on a rocket? I don't think it's that far-fetched.
Okay. And she says that I have conspiracy theories sometimes. Kylie Jenner, speaking of conspiracies, what's going on with Kylie Jenner?
All right. So I don't know what Forbes is doing. So, okay. Forbes declared, like people literally lost their minds. I think it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whenever it was, 2 years ago, 2018. They put Kylie Jenner on the cover and said she is set to be the first or the youngest ever self-made billionaire. Now, there was a whole lot of controversy around whether she's really self-made or her family made her. But then she sold 51%.
She sold 51% of her company for $600 million, which puts a $1.2 billion valuation on the company.
So then Forbes said she is definitely a billionaire. We have gone to the accountant's office, etc. Now Forbes is saying...
Well, no, hold on a second. So it's proven she is definitely a billionaire because she sold a company that she owns anywhere between 100% to 90%. There's debate on whether her mom owns some of it or not now. But she sold it for $1.2 billion, right? And she got $600 million in cash. And then the rest was she still owns stock. Now, all of a sudden, Forbes is saying, wait a second, the public company that bought it, Coty, they're having to publish a bunch of financials, and the financials don't match what we were told in the past, and blah, 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 whatever. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Coty paid $600 million for 51% of the business.
But does that make her a billionaire?
Of course. It values the company at $1.2 billion. There's no getting around the fact that the company's worth $1.2 billion because somebody paid it. Companies are worth what somebody's willing to pay. It doesn't matter what Forbes thinks or anybody else. Coty paid $1.2 billion for the company, right? And they gave him $600 million in cash. And so there you go. It's over. Debate ended. This when I read this article, it sounded like a scorned girlfriend who just wanted to get back at an ex. Like Forbes was just mad. They were just waiting to write some stupid article.
But they're saying that even creating tax returns that were likely forged.
Again, they don't have any proof of that. That's the whole point. This entire article is written
speculation.
Classic speculation.
Okay.
But you know what I do know as a fact? Coty, a publicly traded company, paid a $1.2 billion valuation for the company. And this lady owns at least $1 billion worth of that, which makes you a billionaire.
So we were walking and I just hear, he goes, oh my God, Kylie's a genius. What did she tweet about this article?
She said, I can think of a whole lot more things that we should be focused on right now than how much money I got.
She ain't wrong.
So guess what? Let's move on because there's a whole lot of other things we should be talking about. like the lunch money winner.
Woo woo. All right. This week's winner is Brent KT.
Because what did we ask people to do last week?
We asked people to say how they were going to use the $100 to do good in the world.
And Brent had a great idea. He said, if I win $100, I'll multiply by 10 and give to the Lunch Money team's favorite food bank. People need to get to eat and get money, get paid. So we like doing good that then gets more good done. So the multiplier effect, we're going to send $100 and that's going to turn into more money.
And Brent, tell us where you donate to.
No, you're supposed to pick the food bank.
Oh my God. Well, okay. So Feeding America is a good one.
All right. So we'll do Feeding America. And that is it for Lunch Money today. We appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget, if you're concerned that you're not getting the notifications on YouTube, you can go down in the description or the pinned comment, and we've got the email that goes out now every day. So when we publish, you'll get an email, so you don't have to go to YouTube and just get it there. But remember, the world's crazy right now. While Wall Street's trying to get rich, the rest of us just trying to get our lunch money right. Polina is behaving, being nice, being intelligent, basically keeping me out of trouble. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bang, bang. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Lunch Money as much as we did.
And don't forget, Lunch Money is now sponsored by BlockFi, so go check them out. There's a link in the description that you can click on. I'm an investor, a user, and a huge fan. What?
You're a bigger fan of BlockFi than you are of me?
BlockFi is my second favorite thing in the world behind Polina. They've got 3 products. They can give you a US dollar loan. You can earn up to 8.6% interest on an interest-bearing account, or you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies on their crypto exchange. I personally use the interest-bearing account. There's not very many places where you'll find up to 8.6% interest on a deposit in an interest-bearing account. Go do your own research. There's risk associated, but 8.6% is pretty compelling. So click on the link in the description. Say thanks to the folks at BlockFi. Subscribe to our channel. Like the video. Annoy Polina in the comments. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
And be kind to your friends.